Okay, now we're on both. So let me reintroduce myself. I'm Tara from livingonadime.com. Today I'm making a homemade cherry soap. I have a...
Putting the picture in now.
Okay, Mike's showing the picture. I have an order for this soap, a custom order that I'm making for a store here in Colorado. And let me show you real quick some of the soaps that I've made. Back to me. Okay, this is one of mine that I made. This is a Love Spell copycat. It's got little sprinkles on top. I really like that. Oh, Mike said I didn't hold it high enough. Is that better? And you can see the cute little sprinkles on top. There. And this is just my plain unscented. I really like this one. That's one of my favorites, actually. And then I made this little lavender one. And I had little lavender pieces left over, so I made them into a lavender soap. I made this orange and clove that looks like a thunderstorm. This is a really nice men's soap. This one's my Moonlight, right here. My finger was right in the way. And I have a little berry one. This is for a little kid's soap. And then I made this black cherry. This is a smaller one. And then I made my camo gun soap that I took to the gun show. Now you can buy all of these on my website. I have them on there right now at livingonadime.com. So if you're interested in purchasing them, you can put them there. Mike has the link somewhere. He's looking for the link.
He's frantically looking.
It's the soap for sale. So those are on my website. Okay, now I've already heated my oils, and I have cooled down my lye and water mixture. And I just put it in an ice bath so that it would get done quicker. If you put it in an ice bath, it'll cool down in about 5 to 10 minutes as compared to 45 minutes to an hour. So I am pouring my lye water in with my oils. And can you give them the recipe for this one, Mike, for the olive oil soap? This recipe's on livingonadime.com, and it's my olive oil soap. And is my spoon going to tip? I don't know.
And you might tell them it's in the description if they're on YouTube.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube, it's in the description. Then I'm taking my stick blender, and I'm just going to blend until I get to trace. Can you see what I'm doing now?
Yep.
Okay. So I burped my blender. You can hear that little blop come out. That's when air gets caught up in it, and you got to kind of tip it and let that air bubble out. So I'm mixing my lye water and my oils till they come to trace. My spoons are clanking. That's annoying. And if you're on YouTube, I have everything that I'm using here is in the description below. So, okay, that's a light trace. So can you see how when I lift up the blender, it leaves a trail? That's a light trace because it's not very thick. So I'm going to thicken it just a little bit more. All right. Now, I'm going to take and pour in my fragrance. And I just realized I think this fragrance sets up really slowly. Which may not be the best for a live video, I guess, now that I think about it. So I may have to blend it a lot more. Yeah, I can tell already. Okay. And then I mixed 2 different colors. These are Voodoo Pink and Spicy Tomato from Mad Oils. So I'm going to pour some of this out. Can you see? Am I in shot there, dear? like this. Okay. Because I'm going to swirl. Okay, now that's really light pink, and that is not, I don't want it that light at all. I want it much darker. So I'm going to add some more mica. Does anybody have any questions while I'm mixing up my color?
Bob says, why add color?
To make it pretty. Just to make it pretty.
Should I put the picture back in?
Yeah, I mean, you can see, Mike will show you what I'm making, but, you know, some people like the unscented like this where it's just plain, but I really like the colors, and I like to add the colors to look like what the scent is, so that's why I add color. Okay. Now I'm going to mix this some more. Some of my color got stuck on my spoon.
Oh, Karen says, where did you get the color?
So this one I got at Mica. I got this mica at Mad Oils. You can buy it off of Amazon if you want, but you can get them at several places. Brambleberry, Wholesale Supply. Brambleberry, Nurture is a good one. All those are good places to buy your micas for your colors. Now I'm mixing in my color to get just a little bit darker. Any other questions?
Carol's asking, where do you order soap making supplies that are reasonably priced?
So I get most of mine from the grocery store. If you're just a hobbyist, I would just go to your grocery store. I put some links in the description below for Amazon of some of the oils, but I get most of my oils, well, I don't now because I'm making more soap for sale, but I started off just getting my oils at the grocery store.
Can I put that in the Facebook description?
Yeah, Michael put the link in Facebook.
All of them at once?
Yeah, you probably can. How many people do we have on Facebook just now?
183.
Oh, wow, okay. All right. Let's see. So I got the red to be about the color that I want. Now this isn't a dark, dark cherry color. This is more of a light cherry color. But hold on just a second. I'll be right back. I forgot a rag.
I'll be the elevator music while she's gone. Do, 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 do.
Okay, I'm back. Very good elevator music. Thank you, dear. Okay, now the only reason why I'm wiping this down is because I messed up and I didn't do my white before I did my pink. Normally you want to start with your lightest color and then work your way down, but I am spaced out because we were doing so much before this that I did not do it that way. So I have to wipe off my blender so I don't have a pinkish tinge on my my white. So I have titanium dioxide already pre-mixed in my oil here. I'm shaking it up. I have some marbles in here. Shaking it up, squirting a little bit in. I'm just stirring it in. Any more questions?
April says, where do you get your cherry-shaped things you add in?
So, let me tell you about my cherry-shaped molds. I bought some online, and they make really nice cherries, but they are the biggest pain in the rear to get out. And I mean, I about broke my finger getting them out. So then, I started making my own molds. And this actually is a test right now because, see, are they getting hard? Yeah, I think so. So I took silicone caulk, and I did a video on this, and we'll get it out one of these days. But, oh, yay! Oh, woohoo! This is so exciting. Okay, so this is so much easier. So see how much easier this just pops out? Oh my goodness, they just almost fall out of here, which is great. So I'm going to be making my own molds from now on. It's just so much cheaper. It cost me $3.50 for this. And the other one that I bought was $20. Biggest waste of money ever. I'm so mad that I even wasted money, but I didn't even know you could make video, or you couldn't make your own molds. So that's my loss, but you know, live and learn. So, okay, now I'm mixing my white. Any other questions?
Everyone is loving your aprons.
Oh, yes, my apron. So this apron, okay, let me show you. Okay, so I had a pair of pajamas that I found at the thrift store that were gnomes, and I love gnomes, but they were too small for me. So Mom made this apron, but look, so she cut it up apart and made an apron for me. So look what she did. So she took the watering can and made little hearts for water droplets. She took the rickrack and lined the tops, and then she made little rickrack. Can you see the little, am I pointing right? The little flowers out of the rickrack. And then she made a little flower out of a button and a buttonhole. And so she just cut the front off and then just made an apron. And I just love it. It goes with all of my mini gnome things because I'm a collector of all things gnome. I just love gnomes because they are real. They live in the forest. We just don't see them. Except on my front porch, right, dear?
Yes.
So Mom made, my birthday is next week. Mom made this for me. So yes, I was super, super excited. Okay, now I have taken and marked my mold in 1-inch increments because I want my bars to be approximately 1 inch. So then, oh no. Oh, I do this every time. Shoot, fire. Okay.
Hey, watch that now.
So I'm only making 1 loaf now because I forgot to double the recipe. Ah! Breathing. Feeling the soap vines coming to. We've been running around like chickens with our heads chopped off since about 2:30 working on videos this afternoon.
And it's 7 o'clock here.
And it's 7 o'clock already, so I'm tired. Okay, well this one's going to smell really good because it had double the fragrance and only half the oils. So anyway, I was thinking it was looking like it wasn't very much. So, all right, so I'm pouring in my white, some of my white. Now I'm doubting myself. Did I mess anything else up? And then I'm just pouring in my red and just swirling it all over. Okay.
Karen was asking about the towels. Where can you buy them? Do we have a link to them?
Yes, Karen, that we have a link for that. Let me see, Mike, if you look, I think I put it in the description thing. Okay, then I am just stirring this just very lightly to swirl it. And I got more red than I would like, but that's all right. Okay. Now I got that swirled just a little bit. Get that out of the way. Now, okay, so now I need to let this set because it's not getting thick enough, which I knew with this fragrance. So I'm stirring it with my blender just a little bit more to try and make it thicker. the stove. So we're in the middle of making croutons for our crouton video. You might pull them out and see if they need to be stirred. Because I make the best homemade croutons, even if I do say so myself.
And you do.
Mike agrees. And he's just not saying that. They really are good, aren't they? Are they good? Are they done?
They're lightly brown.
Ooh, perfect. Okay. All right, any questions while I'm letting this set up?
Shannon asks.
I'm going to sit down for a minute while we let it set.
Shannon asks about how much do all the supplies cost to get started, and about how much to make a recipe.
Okay, so that was just Emily accidentally banging the stove. It's okay. So all of the supplies to get started. Well, to get started, all you really need is your oil and your lye. You don't even need, I use a silicone mold because I'm making a lot of, I'm making a lot of soap. Sorry, I have to take off my gloves. I'm just roasting in these things. So let's see, where was I? Okay, so I buy my lye bulk. So I buy it and it comes in these jugs like this because I buy it bulk and I get mine from the lye guy. But go to any hardware store like Ace, smaller hardware stores, and just get 100% Lye Drain Cleaner. Now it's more expensive, but it's great if you're just starting out to make 1 or 2 batches. You'll get probably 3 or 4 batches out of a pound. So if you go to your hardware store and buy your lye, that's like $4 or $5. Your oils, most people already have them at home. You can use Crisco, you could use olive oil, you can use castor oil, you can use avocado oil, anything like that to get started. Then let's see, for your molds, all you need to do for your molds is you can use a cardboard box or a wooden box or anything you want and cut a trash bag open and lay that on the inside. If you're using like a grocery sack from the grocery store, make sure the print side is down or the print will imprint on your soap. So make sure the print is on the outside of, let's see, how do I say that? The print is on the bottom, I guess.
On the outside.
Yeah, on the outside of what would be your soap. So the inside is plain. And then let's see, what else did we need? Then the color, well, now the color and fragrance, Emily or Ellie, can you guys hand me a wash rag, please? The color and fragrance you don't necessarily have to buy. You can just use essential oils if you already have them. Can you wet it, please? And just use what you have at home. If you want to make it just plain unscented, you don't have to use any scents at all, and so you're saving on that amount. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh. And let's see. So you don't need your colors to start with. You don't need your fragrance. All you need is your oils and your lyes. And you can use an oil like Crisco or Lard. So it's real cheap. And you can start off with doing about, let me think, about $2 for 8 bars of soap. Is that right? No, it'd probably be a little bit more. So it'd probably be about $4 for 8 bars of homemade soap. So that's, that's not bad at all to start and try it. And what you would come up with is a plain soap like this. And then how you figure your recipe, if you go to soapcalc.com, SOAPCALC.com, you type in what percentage of oils you're using, and then they'll tell you how much lye and water, and use distilled water if you can, but you don't have to. If your water's really hard, you want to use distilled water. But if, like in Colorado, our water's pretty good, so I could get by, but I don't want to chance it since I'm doing it to sell. I don't want any mineral spots in there. So about the long version of that is about $4 for 8 bars of soap if you do 2 pounds approximately, somewhere around there.
Kimberly asked, I have mint lemons and basil in my garden. Can I use them in soap, and how would I go about doing that?
Okay, yes. So Kimberly said she has mint and what? Basil?
It says mint lemons and basil.
Mint, lemons, and basil. You must live like south or west or south. West, southwest?
I wasn't sure about the lemons, right?
Yeah, the lemons. Okay. So how you would go about doing that is you would take your oil and you would infuse the mint and the lemon and basil in your oil. And how you do that is you heat up your oil really low and you put them in there and you just let it not really even simmer. You just let it stay really warm for a while. Now, you don't have to necessarily heat up the oil. You could just put them in there and enclose them in a glass jar and let them infuse that way and just leave them for 4 or 5 days. But if you warm it up and let it cook really low, that'll take, I don't know, an hour or two, and that should get it infused in there. Then what you would do is just use the oil, strain it and use the oil, and you would have that essence of the lemon and the mint and the basil in there. Now, you can also dry those and blend them up and mix them in. Now, some herbs will discolor in soap. They'll turn brown or they'll turn a funky color. So most soapers like to just sprinkle them on top or something like that. So.
Let's see, we have quite a few other questions. Anita asked, can I ask where you got your soap molds?
These I got on Amazon. So I think, can you look on Amazon, and it's mold 1501, I think.
Soap mold 1501?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see, there were some other, oops. Sorry, there's a hang up on that.
Here, Mike. When
Okay,
you're done.
So Carol says if my mom would have made these soaps, getting my mouth washed out with soap would not have been a threat.
That's funny.
April says, how long does 1 bar from a loaf this size usually last? I would love to make my own soap, but I don't know how much my family would need per month.
Okay, so I was testing that myself because just to see for sure how far it goes. Now, what I keep testing, guys, is to see how thick this is. It's not getting thick enough yet for me to pipe. How long does a bar of soap last? So this size right here would last about a month to 6 weeks if you let it dry in between uses. So put it on a soap dish that has holes in the bottom, or one of those little plastic soap, they're little plastic soap dishes that you can get at Walmart and that kind of thing, and put it on there, and if you do that, it'll last 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, oops. Carol says, what's the craziest thing you ever used for a mold?
Carol wants to know what's the craziest thing I've used for a mold. Well, I haven't really used too much crazy. I mean, I've been collecting molds to make like these things at the thrift store. And, oh, I know the craziest mold I've used right here. My gun soap. That's probably the craziest one I've used, actually. And these little mini guns are also soap also. And so I made all these for the gun show. And I have some left if you want to buy them. Michael put the link on there for my soaps for sale. But yeah, the craziest thing is the little soap guns. But I've used drawer organizers. I've used just plastic containers. I've had Velveeta boxes. I have some little round soap molds that I use. Muffin tins, silicone muffin tins, silicone pie plates. If you look back on my chocolate cherry soap video, you'll see I made a cherry pie. So yeah, I have some fun ones.
A couple people are saying they missed the mixture and they didn't see what was in it, and what were you blending? They're just asking you
Okay,
to
so
refresh
Michael
on that.
put the link in there. If you're on YouTube, then it's in the description below. It's my olive oil soap, and I mixed my oils with my lye mixture, and I stirred it together, and then I colored it, and I'm letting my soap get a little bit thicker before I start piping it. And it is just not really wanting to set up very quickly here. But I'm answering questions while I'm waiting for it to set up so I can pipe it. Since this is live, I can't just fast forward through it all. And I may just have to figure something else. I may not be able to pipe this one. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, Kimberly's asking, can I use my perfumes and body sprays to scent it?
No, not really. Yeah, no, well, I have no idea. I should try that and see. I have never had that question before, but I don't, if they're body safe, you should be able to, but I would think the alcohol in them would maybe mess up your recipe. So, I don't know. I'll give it a try and I'll let you know.
Kimberly says, once I have a nice batch of oil, may I send you some?
Yes, please do. Tara Kellum, Living on a Dime, P.O. Box 193, Meade, Colorado, 80542. I would love to. Yeah, my email's on, or my address is on the about link on YouTube. So if you click that, our address is in there. I'd love to. I love trying new soap. Hey, you send me one and I'll send you one of mine. So yeah, we'll trade.
I think you may have already answered this, but Bonita asked, could you use coconut oil?
Yes, I use coconut oil in this recipe. If you want to make 100% coconut oil, you can. It makes a very cleansing bar, which means it cleans really well, but it doesn't foam very well, so you don't get many bubbles. So don't be surprised if you don't get many bubbles, but yes, I do. I love coconut oil. It's really good for laundry and that kind of thing. So
Jess is asking you to repeat the website that had the portions on it.
It's livingonadime.com. And oh, you mean the soap calc? Is that what you mean?
I thought that's what she
Okay,
I'm not sure.
well first, if you go to livingonadime.com, my recipe is on there.
I'll share it again.
Mike's sharing it again. If it's in the description below, but SoapCalc, SoapCalc.com is where you go to figure your proportions if you're using, if you want to know how much lye and water to add to your oils, because different oils absorb lye differently. So you need to do a SoapCalc recipe to make sure that it's correct.
Beryl's saying I'm on YouTube and there's no recipe or ingredient listing.
Oh, YouTube's been messing up our descriptions. So if you'll wait until after we're done and this gets uploaded on YouTube and it's not live anymore, it's just the video, it'll be on there. Is it not on there?
Yeah, YouTube took it off.
I don't know why YouTube's doing that, but
Kimberly said, I love all the extra swirls and fragrance.
yeah, I really love the swirls myself. I'm a swirls kind of a girl. Okay, I should have put on my gloves because somebody's going to yell at me for not doing my gloves. But I'm putting this in the bag to see if it'll start setting up a little bit quicker. And this may not set up at all. I may have to just go ahead and put it on there. But I'll keep answering questions while they're coming, and then I'll finish up.
Bonita asks, oatmeal, can we add it?
Bonita wants to know if we can add oatmeal. Yes. So what you do is you just take regular oatmeal and grind it up in your blender, and then just add it to the mixture before you pour it in your molds, or you can sprinkle some on top. If you have to be gluten-free, just use gluten-free oatmeal, and it works the same way. Just grind it up.
And she also asked, Bonita also asked, how do you make it rough looking on the top?
Okay, so this here, the rough looking, is that what you're meaning? I'm pretty sure. This is called hot process soap. And this soap was cooked in the crock pot and then put in there. And what happens in hot process to get this rough look is your soap is already sponified. Here in the cold process that I'm doing today, you have to let your soap set for about 24 hours before you cut it. And then you have to wait 4 to 6 weeks for all the lye to be absorbed into the oils. And it's called sponification. But with hot process soap, when you cook it in the crock pot, which is how they used to do it in the old days, they would cook it over the fire. This is what they were doing. It is already sponified by the time you're done cooking. So the hour and a half or so when you're done cooking, it's already finished, and that's what creates the rough texture on top, because it's kind of like thick applesauce or really thick mashed potatoes when you put it in there, and so you can't get it totally smooth. And I love this look myself. I'm torn between if I like hot process or cold process better, because I don't know, I just like all the different kinds of soaps. So to me, it's just fascinating how you can just have the same ingredients and make so many different cool things out of it. So, and I have a video on the hot process, but Mike doesn't have it edited yet, so we'll get that done and put it on there for you.
Beryl missed the part about the recipe not being on YouTube at the moment, but he was asking again.
Oh yeah, the recipe, YouTube deleted our
link in the description.
So as soon as this live broadcast is done and it's posting as a regular video, it will be back. We will put it back in the description.
Let's see. Somebody asked how. Oh, Nora said, "How did you do your mold with a silicone chalk? I've seen some do it by mixing it with cornstarch."
Okay, so you can mix your 100% silicone. So this is my silicone mold. You take 100% silicone caulk, and the cheapest place I found it is Family Dollar. I don't know if Dollar General has it, but Family Dollar definitely has it, and it's only $3.50 a tube. I tried it with the cornstarch, and I've tried it with the dish soap, and I like the dish soap better. So what you do is you pump out all of your silicone into a bowl that has water and Dawn dish soap mixed. And I don't know proportions, I just dump some in. And then you just take your hands and mix it together until it starts kind of getting firm. And then you put it in the shape that you want. And then you put, like, cherries are on sale, so I stuffed some cherries in there. And then I let it set up about, I don't know, an hour. And then I just now, I took my cherries out and let the mold finish kind of getting hard, and I just now ran a test. This is my first test on this mold, and I think it turned out great. I'm really happy with it. To do the cornstarch, mix your silicone caulk, 100% silicone caulk with cornstarch until it gets firm, and just keep kneading it until it gets firm. And then you can put in whatever you're molding and put it in there. And this is a bigger mold, but you can do just as much caulk as you need. If you need a little bit, just do a little bit. If you need a bunch, you can do this. This here was an entire tube. So a tube doesn't really go that far, but yeah.
Karen said, "My husband interrupted while I was viewing and listening. Did you say you could use the stick blender in the kitchen after using it to make the soap?"
Okay, so I didn't say, but yes, I do all the time. I know some people have separate soap making supplies, and that's fine if you can afford it. I can't. So I use the same thing. I mean, it's soap. It's not anything that's harmful or anything that's gonna hurt you. So you just wash it off just like you would your silverware and everything after you're eating dinner. So I don't use different one. This is my mixing bowl that I use for brownies and everything. So yeah, I don't.
Kirsten asked, what got you started on making your own soap?
So what got me started on making my own soap was I went to Silver Dollar City at Branson, Missouri about 6 years ago when I was graduated high school. And I was just fascinated with the whole process. And then a few years later, I got a job in a flower shop that actually made their own soap. And so I learned there, and we just made plain bars like this. And back then, we didn't have stick blenders. We didn't have the immersion stick blenders. And so we had to hand stir it. So we would sit there with a bowl and hand stir it for a good hour for it to come to trace and set up. And so then they outlawed lye. And you couldn't get lye anymore because they're making meth out of it. And so they outlawed it. And so it was really hard to get the lye to make soap. So I just stopped. Well, just recently we've been able to get the lye again. I don't know if it's because we're in Colorado and our drug laws are so relaxed here or what. But I don't think that's it, because you can order it online wherever you want. But you can now find the 100% Lye Drain Cleaner in the hardware store. And I bought one of those last September and told Mike, oh, I'm going to make some soap. He's regretted it ever since, because now we have soap everywhere. It's kind of like with when I wrote my Dining on a Dime cookbook. I said, oh, I'm going to write a cookbook. And he thought, oh, just a little tiny, family cookbook. And 20 years later, it's it's a crazy. So anyway, yeah, that's how I got started.
Debbie asks, do you wrap your soaps in anything special?
No. So I have tried wrapping them in, oh man, that smells good. I love orange and clove. I tried wrapping them in shrink wrap with a heat gun, and that does okay, but it's kind of a pain, and I think I just got the wrong shrink wrap sleeves, and I need to just try a different one. So I'm going to try a different one. But now, at the moment, I just am wrapping them in plastic wrap. And hold on, I got one right here. So here's my Mountain Bear soap that I made, and a customer ordered that. So you can see I just hand wrapped it in plastic wrap, and it works actually pretty well. So I think I might just start doing that from now on.
And Robin asked, how do you store it once it's made? I know that's kind of related.
So while it's curing for the 4 to 6 weeks, you can just leave it on wire shelves or just leave it on a shelf or something. This one is a couple months old, and it still smells pretty good. If you have a strong fragrance, you will want to wrap it after 6 to 8 weeks, because some fragrances will leave the soap. Now, like this lavender, it smells really good still, and this one I made in March. This one I made in March. This one I made in January, and it still smells really good. But if you really want to make sure you keep your fragrances from fading, I would wrap them.
So Rox asks, what do you recommend for a deodorant soap infusion?
A deodorant soap infusion. Let's see, what herbs would kill tea tree oil. That's supposed to kill bacteria or help with it. So I would probably use something like tea tree oil in it, is what I would do probably.
Okay. Jess says, do you have to have a scale to make soap?
There are some recipes out there that don't call for a scale, but I've tried 4 or 5 of them, and none of them have worked well. So as soon as I find one that works, I will post it for you guys. But a scale is really helpful, because if you're just off a little bit on your lye measurements or your oil, it can cause a your soap to be either too oily or to be too, it won't set up correctly with the lye and it'll burn a little bit. But I haven't found one. So if anybody has a recipe that works well, send it to me and I'll give it a try and I'll post it and see, because I haven't found one yet. And I've had several reliable soap places and they haven't worked very well. So yeah, if someone has a recipe, send it to me. Send it to, go to Living on a Dime and click on our contact at the top and send it to me there, because I haven't found one that makes very good soap for not using a scale.
Nifty Thrifty Bits says, do you think there's a difference between hot processed soap or cold processed as to if one lasts longer than the other one?
So Nifty Thrifty Bits, hello, thank you for coming over to this time. She wants to know if the hot process or cold process lasts longer. No, it doesn't, but it does cure faster. So this you can use immediately for the hot process. You can use it immediately. It's best if you wait at least 2 weeks for it to set up. But the cold process, so let's see. So just so you can see the difference, these two are hot process here. See how they're a little rougher? And then these here are all cold process. And you can see how they're smoother. But the cold process takes 4 to 6 weeks to set up, and the hot process only takes 2. So that's where the main difference is the texture and the time setting it up.
Looks like Karen might already have answered it, but Rox asked as a follow-up, can you combine tea tree oil with lavender? Karen says yes.
As far as I know, you can combine tea tree oil and lavender. I have not heard any different. If you have a reaction or something, I'm not responsible, but I think you can. I mean, I've done it, and I haven't had any problems. So, yeah, I don't see why you would have any problems.
Kimberly says her girlfriend wraps hers like you do, but then wraps it in cheesecloth and a raffia bow, and it's really cute.
She wraps it in cheesecloth and a raffia bow. Oh, yeah, that would be cute. Yeah, it would. Okay, so my soap is just barely set up. And honestly, it's still really loose. But I'm going to start piping it on here. See, it's just kind of falling out. This is really actually too loose. It's my fragrance. Some fragrances set your soap up too quick, and then others it takes forever for them to set up. But I'm just going to go ahead because we've already been almost an hour, so I don't want to just bore you guys to death. And I'm just going to see what I can do with it. Any other questions while I'm piping?
Kristen says, when you sell your soap, do you make enough of a profit to cover your costs and make a profit?
Well, now about that. So do I cover when I sell my soaps, do I make enough to cover my costs and my time? At the moment, no. But I am just starting out. So this isn't like my career. I'm just trying to cover my supplies right now. I will say that it is a lot of work doing soap making. Like, we went to a, quilt show to sell them a couple weeks ago. And we sold a lot, and we were working pretty fast and furious. But in the end, it was Mom and my daughter and I, and it took me, we sat out there all day in the 95 degrees heat. It took me all that day, the day before, just to set up, to get everything organized and set up. Then I probably spent at least another week making the soaps that I had. And I made about $400. So really, until you can get the process down and going, you're not going to make a lot of money. And I've just been experimenting a lot, and so I'm selling my soaps, which might put the link on there, and it's in the description below if you want to buy some of them. This is darn tootin' good soap. Don't you agree, dear?
It's darn tootin' good.
It is really good
She might
soap.
just say that at Silver Dollar City.
No, I mean it is really good soap. But I'm doing it for a hobby, and I'm just kind of starting to do it for business. And honestly, I would probably give up living on a dime in a heartbeat if I could just do this all the time. But I don't have the base yet for customers or anything. I've only got one wholesale place at the moment, and so it is a good business. And this is really good soap, and I make really good soap, but it does take a while to break in and find your market and farmers markets, they're okay, but they are work. They're a lot of work. So anyway, yeah, that's probably not the answer you want, but.
Anita asked,
Anita asked, after pouring the soap in the mold, how long do you keep it in the mold before you take it out? And is there any special way that you unmold it?
It's 24 hours, and I'm going to be unmolding live tomorrow when I'm going to make another batch. Aren't you glad to hear that, dear?
What time?
Tomorrow. It'll probably be about 6:30 tomorrow, maybe. I'm going to try. Depends on how dinner goes. You leave it in your mold 24 hours. And like I said, this fragrance is really not good. It's just, normally my soap would have been hard by now, but this fragrance has made it so that it's just really super runny. So I'm just trying to kind of get by with what I can here, but any other questions?
Nifty Thrifty Bit says, how about selling on Etsy?
So I tried on Etsy, and first of all, it's not if you will put it on Etsy, they will buy it. You have to send your customers there. And I got to thinking, why should I send everyone to Etsy to be charged a fee when they can just go to my own website and buy it? So I just put them on my website, which if you want to buy them, they're at livingonadime.com. The link is in the description below. It's my soap for sale. And I have a whole bunch more soap than this. I only have like, I don't know, 6 or 8 on the website, but I have several others. So if there's something specific you're looking for, let me know. But yeah, okay, so I got this piped on here. And as you can see, this is really runny. This is not normally quite how I would like it to be, but I'm just going to go in and try and give my own little peeks here. Any other questions?
well, Michelle says try hospital gift shops and small gift shops. You have a great product with nice big pieces.
Oh, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought about the hospital gift shops. Actually, that was my first job, was a hospital gift shop. Now I'm going to take my, this is Snowflake Sparkle. And I'll put the link in the description below. Mike doesn't have the link for this because I forgot to put it on there. And I'm just sprinkling this glitter on top really lightly, just to give it just a little bit of glitz, just because I like glitter. Okay, and then I'm going to take my cherries. So I'm going to take my ones I just did because they're just cool and I'm happy that they turned out. And always put your first, oh boy, is that still too runny? Maybe still too runny. Always take your first and last embed that you put on the top, these are called embeds, and put them opposite directions. So have them pointing different opposite ways, because what you want to do is when you cut, you want to have your embed pointing towards the side facing. So like on my bear one here, if this was the end, I would turn my bears each way so that the pattern is seen from the front. I hope that made sense. I don't know if that made sense, but anyway. Okay, any other questions?
Rox asked, can we also add apricot scrub to the soap for an exfoliating soap?
Yes, you can, and oatmeal does the same thing. So you can use your oatmeal as that too.
And I can't remember who it was, but somebody had asked, can you make your homemade body wash?
You can, but you have to have a special soap base for it, and there's not really homemade body wash. I mean, it's not really, there is, but you buy a soap base to make it. So, yeah, it's not really, but this is very moisturizing soap. I mean, really, you should give it a try because there's so many oils in it. I have been using it for 6 months now, and I haven't had, I used to get hangnails really bad along the side. And I haven't had any hangnails. I think I maybe had 1 in 6 months, and I used to get like 3 or 4 a week. And so it's really moisturizing when you make your own homemade soap. So you might give it a try. If you're a body wash snob, you might give it a try because you might be surprised. Anything else?
Beryl says, thanks very much. Because others giving info. Okay. Let's see. Diane asks, are you prepping?
Am I prepping?
Well, probably because we're connected with Homestead Network and all.
Oh, am I a prepper? Yes, I am, sort of.
Not a zombie apocalypse prepper.
I'm not an apocalypse prepper, but I also don't believe that our country is going to be able to keep going in the direction that it's going and not have some kind of economic collapse. You just can't go into trillions of dollars of debt and not eventually collapse. It's just a matter of common sense and balancing, and it's not balancing and it's not going to work. So I do have a supply of food for our family that I have, and I do have my gardens ready that if I need to grow, I can pull out my flowers and put in foods. We don't have chickens or a cow or anything like that. We could get chickens, but right now we don't really go that far. So yes and no, I am, but I'm not at the same time.
You more prepare for emergencies like we've already experienced, and then set things up to be able to handle bigger ones if we had to.
Yeah, I mean, like we had floods 3 years ago, and our town was literally cut off from the rest of the world. I mean, the rivers literally flooded our town so that we could not get out if we needed to go get supplies. And so I try to make sure that I have enough food and water that if we can't get supplies, we can at least stay at home and be able to make it. Yeah.
Oh, Sin says, I use a poofy scrubby to make bubbles with my cold processed soap.
Yep, I do too. I have a little poof that I use and I love it and it makes great bubbles.
Oh,
here, Dave, go fill that bowl with water and I'll show them real quick.
Just regular water?
Yeah, and bring my soap samples over there.
And Julie said, I watched your laundry room video earlier and was wondering where you've got your basket drawers.
They were sitting on the curb. My neighbor was throwing them away. So I don't know where she got them though, but I don't know where she got them from, but I've seen them like at Walmart and that kind of thing. So yeah.
Cool.
That's probably good, Dave. Bring me a thing of soap. Bring me that packet of soap too.
Addicted Prepper says, what do you use to cut the soap? Soap, wire, or knife, or is there a special tool?
So I use I use a knife. I was using a knife, but then when I started doing this more, Bud on Etsy, Bud Hefferman, I can't remember. Look in the link description. I'll put it down there. He sent me one to review. A soap cutter, and it has a wire on it, and that's what I use now, and it's great, and I know why people love it. So let me show you my soaps here. So this one here, this ball here is this cherry soap. This one here is another version of my gun soap. It's a different one. And right here, this one is my oatmeal soap. But let me show you how well, I'll just do it real quick here and show you how it suds. Okay, I'm having a hard time because I'm doing this in a weird position, but you can see it really does suds up. You know, I mean, this one has more lard in it than the other ones, which was one that I was testing. Well, thank you, Dave. Now this one here is my oatmeal soap. And I'll show you. I haven't tested this one yet. I was waiting for it to dry, and it's dry now. This one here, so this one didn't have as much coconut and castor oil. Now this one has more coconut and castor oil, and you can see the difference the coconut and castor oil adds when you put a little bit more in there. It makes it a whole lot more sudsy, the coconut and castor oil does. So then, let me show you one more. Whoops, sorry, Dave. Just a second, thank you. My son is waiting for a towel for me. Isn't that nice? Then, whoa. Here I have, which it looks pretty bad at the moment. Hold on. But here I have my doggy soap. I made a doggy paw that we use on the dog. And this one here has just a little bit more palm oil in it. And you can see the palm oil also helps it sud. But the palm oil is a little bit creamier. So that's why the different oils, it just depends on the different oils and how they react. But my skin is really soft right now. I mean, I can feel just a really thin layer of oils on there. Thank you, sir. So that's what the different consistencies are when you use the different oils in your soaps.
Robin says, is the bear soap made with the coconut oil? That's the one I would like to buy, and an oatmeal.
This does not have oatmeal in it. It only has the coconut oil. So this one has the coconut, olive, palm, castor, and avocado oil. And the avocado is really moisturizing. I really love using the avocado oil. Let's see, what else? The coconut, I'm out of the oatmeal, but that, if you want it, just let me know and I can make up a batch real quick and get it. It'll take 2 weeks, but I can get it sent to you. I had a lady make a special order, and she ordered 8 bars of the coconut, and so that's what that was left over from. So.
Ooh, several more.
Okay.
Let's see.
How are we doing on time? Oh my.
We're about a little over an
Okay.
hour.
Jack, why don't you eat that
Kristen-
and go get ready for bed, okay?
Kristen says, do you sell the doggy soap?
Yes, I have several of this. Dave, let me think where it is.
Downstairs.
Can you go downstairs and see if you can find it in the box down there? I think it's on the roll top desk.
Yeah.
I have several of the doggy soaps. I'll see if my son can run down and grab one real quick. I have several of those. I have a friend who has Ellie, what's the name of Mrs. Anderson's dog?
Bridget.
No, but I mean, what kind of dog?
Bulldog.
Oh, bulldog. I have a friend who has a bulldog whose skin is really sensitive, and she cannot order enough of this. She just loves it. She's ordering from me all the time because it's really soothing on their skin. So yeah, if you have a dog with sensitive skin, it works really well.
Meredith says, do you have a personal favorite?
On scents or kinds. So here's how the doggy soaps come. Right there. Can you see that? Am I showing it okay?
Yeah.
See, there's my doggy soaps. And I don't think I have these up on my soap for sale page. So send me an email on the contact form. Go to Living on a Dime and click contact and tell me you're interested in it, and then I can get your information. My favorite soap, as far as scents, so far, this one here is my favorite, and I haven't shown you guys that, but I just love the way this purple and gold one turn out. And this is a Moonlight Path Copycat. So far, this is my favorite one. My second favorites are some of my mountain ones, and then I like the different swirl ones. I really like those. I don't know, I just like all the different colors. But then I like the little chips in these too. So I don't know, I just like them all. It's hard for me to figure. I mean, it's like asking which kid is your favorite. You know, you love them all, so it's hard.
I like the mountain one with the bear on it.
You like the mountain one?
Yeah.
I have a prettier, not a prettier, but I have one that has red and orange in it. That's like a sunset. that I just sold out of, but it's really pretty too, and I like that one too.
Where was it? Joanne asked, do any of them help with eczema?
The unscented one. My brother and son both use this. I can. Oh, anybody wants? She wants to know if it helps with eczema. So my brother and my son both have this. My brother started using it, and he said it really helped him. I'm not making any medical claims, but because of the olive oil and the avocado in there, it is very soothing to the skin. So while I'm not making any medical claims, my brother really loves this soap, and this is the only one he'll use now. So, and he was hard. He was one of those guys that didn't want to try anything. So
Carrie says, I'm interested in trying to find out the cost of all the ingredients, but I'm getting confused. Could you tell me the cost on the soap you just now made?
Okay, so if you just count the ingredients, if you were to go buy this at the store, so if you go to the hardware store and buy your Lye, it's 100% drain cleaner, 100% Lye Drain Cleaner. It's about $4 to $5. Then you would need your oils, which most people already have olive oil or Crisco or those kinds of oils on hand. You wouldn't, if you already have the oil on hand, you wouldn't need to buy it. So it would probably be, for a loaf this size, about $5 to $8 for all the supplies. That is not including the fragrances, fragrances or the colors. So if you buy these would be additional. But yeah, it doesn't include all those.
I forgot. Let's see. Meredith said either scent or kind, maybe which oil do you prefer?
Which oil do I prefer? I like the spearmint eucalyptus scents for essential oils. So like this one here is spearmint eucalyptus. It smells like you're bathing in a Wrigley spearmint gum. My son, what do you think, Dave?
It's great. I love it.
My son loves this one.
Yeah.
And so as far as essential oils, that's my favorite. As far as fragrance oil, my favorite is the Moonlight Path. Essential oils are derived from plants. Fragrance oils are all man-made, so that's the difference.
That's pretty much it. Kristen says you look tired or in pain, so go rest.
I
think
sorry.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I am getting really tired. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to be sinking as I'm going. Okay, so I think that's it on my soap for this time. I'll cut this tomorrow because I have to make another batch. But just before we go, don't forget all our books are 50% off. All our other print books, Dining on a Dime is not, but all of our other books are 50% off. So go check it out on livingonadime.com. And I will be back tomorrow at what time? 4:30 Mountain Time to talk about your barking dogs and how to stop them. And then I might do a soap after that, so probably about 6:30 or so after that, hopefully. So go to livingonadime.com. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like this. Those really help us, and please share. We really appreciate it. And if you click in the description below, all the links to everything that I use here is down there. So have a good night.